say love conquers all, so please let me in. Oh yeah. You say that you want me till the end of time. I know I've been wrong, let me be right. I'll be waiting. Now I'm on my way. Save me tonight. I'll be waiting. Just a little bit of faith and a whole lot of trust. In a world filled with peace that belongs to us. Oh yeah. And you know I will die for you. And you know it's the truth. So why don't you give yourself to me? I know I've been wrong. Let me be right. I'll be waiting. Now I'm on my way. Save me tonight. I'll be waiting. No, it really doesn't matter. And I know that you'll see. But when you hope and you find your destiny, save me. I know I've been wrong. Let me be right. I'll be waiting. Now I'm on my way. Save me tonight. I'll be waiting. I know I've been wrong. Let me be right. I'll be waiting. Now I'm on my way. Save me tonight. I'll be waiting. I know I've been wrong. Let me be right. I'll be waiting. Now I'm on my way. Save me tonight. I'll be
Hi everyone, this is Glenn Hughes from the Dead Daisies, and this is the Mitch LaFon and Jeremy White Show.
The Mitch LaFon and Jeremy White Show.
The Mitch LaFon and Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.
Our next guests are members of one of our favorite groups, the Dead Daisies. Brand new record, Hypnotize Yourself, available now wherever you get your music. Also hitting the road. Tons of tour dates, pretty much kicking off in Vineland, New Jersey on September 7th. Going to be hitting Falls Church, VA, and Nashville, LA. Incredible shows. Go and check it out. Of course, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Glenn Hughes and the one and only Doug Aldrich. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. Look at
Hey,
you,
guys,
Jeremy.
doing
You
good.
sound fantastic.
See, that's why he's
Mitch.
the professional in the studio, and I'm just the guy that asks the questions. That's
Right. Yeah. First of all, I just want to start with Doug, just because as a guitar player, man, the tones on this record you're getting. I know we've talked about analog versus digital before, but
Yeah.
man, I just got to say kudos, because you got some badass guitar tones on this record.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. it sounds like it's all me, but it's me and David Lloyd together, along with the ferocious bass growlings of Glenn.
Right.
That we actually, you know, we had done some demos, and we found a couple tricks to do on Glenn's bass that we hadn't really done before, and it was really cool. And we asked Ben to try and recreate that too. So it's like the whole sound together. It sounds pretty fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, because it's like, you know, a lot of guitars these days, they kind of sound the same. And like, you got two incredible guitars, but incredible bass, and trying to blend all that together in the mix, it can be difficult, but you guys really do pull it off really well.
Yeah, I think we keep it pretty simple, Jeremy. We like to keep it straight down the middle. You know.
Glenn, just real quick, before you joined the Dead Daisies, you were doing your own stuff. You were doing the Deep Purple tour.
Yes.
Where are we on that? Have we sort of just shelved that, and you're just enjoying your time in the Dead Daisies? Because there's probably a lot of less pressure. I mean, you don't have to think of everything. You don't have to book the tours. You just show up.
You're right. Being in this band, this organization, this family operating business has been a blessing for me, because I'm surrounded by love. It's a great time. We've now obviously made 2 albums with myself and Brian. Welcome Brian back. Of course, I've got solo things in, you know, at some point, whenever I will do that again. But I'm only interested right now in working with Doug and the guys in the Dead Daisies. So we're having an incredible time.
Yeah, we gotta love that.
Yeah.
Doug and Glenn, just quickly talk to me about the band being a 4-piece, because forever it's been a 5-piece, and now we're down to 4. Obviously, it changes the sound a little bit more. It sounds a little bit more ferocious, doesn't it?
That's the bass tone. You know, that Glenn's got a giant bass tone. No, but it's
Glenn, your wood sounds big, is what he's saying.
Well,
yeah, you got
thank God.
You got
big wood.
But I think David Lowy actually really enjoys it right now, because he's got that whole side of the stage where he's popping around like the Energizer bunny, and so it does change the sound, but it's always onwards and upwards. You know, we're always trying to improve.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of, you know, writing the record and getting these songs together, I mean, who's coming in with all the ideas? Who's coming in? Is it riffs, melody? Like, does a drum sound influence the record? Like, how are you guys writing this stuff?
What happens I come up with something, I take it to Doug. He comes up with something, he takes it to me, and then we take it into the studio, and we include David and Brian. Also, David Lowy has come up with a couple of things on this album. So it's basically a cohesive band effort.
Right. Was it a musical marriage right off the top between you two, or did it take some time to get into a groove of it?
No, it was.
We started.
Yeah.
We started back in 2019, and we did it just like Glenn said, like that, and it worked out great for Holy Ground. So, and there was a conscious effort for us to play together when we recorded that, and then same thing with this time. And yes, to answer your question, the songs can be made better or ruined depending on the drums, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got in my opinion, the best drummer in the world is in the Dead Daisies at this moment, and he played amazing on the album, made everybody play better. I mean, he makes us all better the way he plays drums.
We have some outtakes of what Brian played but didn't use that are absolutely when working with Brian, when I'm tracking with Brian, he's asking me, what about this? And what if I did this? I'm going, oh man, everything was so damn good. As you know, Mitch and Jeremy, I've played with every great drummer in the bloody world. And here
me as well. I've had a long list too, man.
So Brian ticks all the boxes for me as the bass player.
Glenn, I've got a question for you. I mean, just thinking about that, you know, you've worked with some of the greatest drummers through the years. You work with some of the most amazing musicians. When it comes to being in the studio and recording this record in 2021, 2022, compared to all the years of running the tape, how have you seen the technology of recording either get better or worse through the years?
Well, I'm an analog guy, as you know. I'm not really interested in anything but analog stuff. So for me, tracking in the same room as Doug and David and Brian is very, very important, and that's what we did. So that's what I'm basically, I'm an analog guy for sure.
Yeah. But it does add to the vibe, right? I mean, like, if you guys were just recording, transatlantic, here's a track, here's this and that, like, it wouldn't have the same vibe, right?
No, you're in the room with Brian, and we're basically focusing on drums, but we're playing together. And we play through the songs enough times where Brian can figure out, okay, this is a heavy riff, a heavy groove we're going for. I think, what do you guys think about like a half open eighth note thing? Or do you want to go, or should it be on the bell or whatever? And we would just try it different ways. Eventually we'd lock into something and we'd start tracking and start cutting and going for takes. We'd do it we'd probably do like 4 or 5 takes. And then he may say, Ben would say, I think we got it, and we'd go and listen.
And that's the beauty of collaboration, right? I mean, like, you're in the studio together. Somebody will start, maybe he'll start a hi-hat thing, or, you'd just be hitting an A chord. Like, oh, what's that? Oh, maybe I turned that into something. Like, if you weren't there in the same room, it wouldn't be the same.
No,
it totally helps.
I want to just quickly talk about the challenges of touring. Whitesnake, for example, was supposed to go out with the Scorpions, and they've had to cancel. Winger was supposed to go tour the UK with Skid Row. They had to cancel. And, of course, Glenn, you got sick, and we had to cancel a few shows. How difficult is it to tour at this time? I mean, is it to the point where we should just say, fuck it, let's just go home? Or can you do it?
Well,
Sorry.
No. For me, getting COVID at that time was not what we wanted.
Right.
David had got it. Doug had got it. And the next week I got it. But looking back, Mitch and Jeremy, the tour was very, very successful for our band.
Right.
Do I think it's viable to go and tour right now? I think you can't make too many damn plans, because as you've seen with David and Whitesnake and with our band, it's really stressful, I must say.
Look, I want to put in my 2 cents on this, because it's a topic that we talked about yesterday. Remember, Glenn?
Yep.
It's like you got a band of guys, and I'm talking about the future now. Just from today on, I feel like if somebody comes down, Whitesnake's a different story, because David's got a sinus problem that he's got to get resolved. Right. But I'm talking about COVID. I'm talking about a lot of, we had to cancel 2 festivals because of COVID, because me and David and a couple other guys in Entourage got it. So we had to wait it out. But I feel like I had no symptoms. I had a sniffly nose. That's it. And at that point, I feel like we have to isolate. You have to let your bandmates know, like, hey, look, I got this. You guys got to stay away from me, and you mask up, and you keep gloves on, but you carry on. Right. You got to carry on. There's no question to me.
I have to agree. Yes.
It's the same as back in. It's the same as Jeremy. Like when before, somebody on the tour would get the flu, and the whole bus would get the flu.
Right.
I mean, it's just. It is what it is. I mean,
it's almost like a good thing that you all caught it at the same time, because now you're good for like 6 months.
Well, I hope so. I really do.
We'll see.
Were any of your voices affected by it at all? Because
your voice, Jeremy, is
yeah, man. Yeah. I had it like early July, and for a good month and a half, finally my voice is like good to go now. Like it's sounding normal. For like I'd be singing flat. I try and do a voiceover like 10 seconds in, and like I'm coming up for air, like the new Toyota blah blah blah. Like I'd be coming up for air, and before it's still affecting me. So are you still feeling that?
When I got it in Paris, there's no way I could have played the next show. I mean, I had the sniffs. I had I had a cough constantly, and it was affecting my vocal cords. And there's no way I could have sang in the next 2 weeks. But I'm all good now, thank God.
I know what Jeremy's thinking. My dog's barking. This time it's not my dog.
It's one of mine.
That's
family. Those are family members.
Dogs are allowed to bark.
When I come back and reincarnated, I'm coming back as a puppy at Glenn's house.
Come on, absolutely. More than welcome.
I do want to get to that side and get away from the music business for a second. Glenn, you're a big supporter of animal rights and rescues. And of course, those are all rescues behind you. And on my lap that nobody can see, I've got my latest rescue lying right across. Just quickly talk about that and having that to come back to, you come on a tour and there's all kinds of stuff. And then you come home and there's the animals, that peace that it brings. Talk to me about that.
I've been rescuing animals now for 24 years, and we've had lots of them, and we will continue to do that. I don't know if anybody knows, I don't have any children, only furry children. So and my wife now knows that I'm always going to keep bringing them home. So for me, when I'm touring, and Doug knows this, I can't wait to get back to my furry children, as they mean, look at me, I'm smiling away here. They mean so much to me.
Now, do you have your own foundation to take care of this, or do you just sort of go to the SPCA and pick up a couple of dogs?
We work with the Amanda Foundation in Beverly Hills. Those are our people, and we do a lot of charity work for them. And so yeah, absolutely.
See, that's what I love to hear. And Doug, I'm going to ask you just a quick question, not necessarily about dogs, but you've been a journeyman. You've done a whole bunch of different bands, from Hurricane to being in Whitesnake. Where do you sort of see yourself in 5 years from now? Do you want to keep working with Dead Daisies, or do you want to still be the guy that a band picks up, or at some point do you want to sort of start your own thing? What's sort of the Doug plan?
The Doug plan is to not really worry about it too much. I'm just enjoying the
Doug plan
right
is
now.
to retire with all of his awesome guitars by a beach. No worries.
No, but I mean, here's the thing: is that I'm really I'm in a really good place,
right?
And working with Glenn and Brian and David it's fucking fun, man. We have a blast, and people ask me, like, do you guys hang out and stuff? We hang out all the time, every day off. We have dinner together. Glenn and I go walking in the morning, exercising. Is
that different compared to other bands you've been in, Doug? Is that is it more friendly than previous bands you've been in, or?
I mean, I don't really want to compare it to other bands, but it is a bit different. It's
because some bands are like a
vibe.
Business transaction than actual like friendship, and like it's nice to hear that you guys actually hang out.
Yeah, no, we absolutely do. But I to answer your question a little bit, Mitch, is that I have the sky's the limit for me, because I have I got a lot of years left in me. I got a lot of music to make and create, and more records to make and do. If I have the opportunity to stay and work with these guys, I'm going to do that as long as they'll have me. But at the same time, there's you never know what's going to happen in this world. You never know what happens. You just got to enjoy it while you can. But I did enjoy making this record. Yeah. I took some time off from listening to it and came back and listened to it recently, and I'm really happy with it overall. I mean, of course, there's little things you would change, but it's a kick-ass album for me. I like it.
Yeah.
Just to quickly talk about the record, the band has changed members quite a bit. So when you go into this, do you ascribe to the notion that there's a Dead Daisy sound and we need to do that? Or is it pretty much free painting and the canvas is blank and whatever we come up with is what we come up with?
In my opinion, we're kind of in a box, really.
Okay.
To go outside of the box, really outside of the box, in my opinion, wouldn't have been appropriate. After Holy Ground, we needed to make another record that was classic rock and keeping kind of the same 70s format, if you will. And I think we've done that successfully on this album.
Yeah, for me, I think that, within the genre that we do, that we have grown up on and been, kind of getting back to our roots on these last couple records, it hasn't been, for me, I haven't felt like stifled in any way, and we didn't think about that it's got to sound like this or it's got to sound like that. We just kind of put our aim like, this is what we want to make, a classic album, and just come up with a bunch of songs and see what happens. And it's for other people to decide, I guess.
And Doug, I want to ask you this. You have worked with three of my favorite vocalists, Glenn, David, and of course, Kelly Hansen. What do you think that they share in common where they just, their voices connect with the audience, and we've been around them for 30, 40, 50 years going, I want to hear the next Glenn vocal. I want to hear the next David vocal. What Kelly's doing with Foreigner is fantastic. What is it about them? Because you've been really lucky. I mean, you haven't worked with stiffs. You've worked with the greatest of the greatest.
I know, and you can't forget about Ronnie too. I know he's not on that
that's
list
right, Ronnie
but
James Dio. I forgot. Well, I didn't forget.
I mean,
it's four.
I've been incredibly blessed, and every singer I've ever worked with brings something to the table. But I mean, when you're talking about like guys like Kelly and Glenn, these guys singing have a range that is not most people can never get there. You know, I mean, what Glenn does is from another planet, really, and he's God given, and he takes care of his voice. And so does Kelly. Kelly's very, very, as you probably know, Mitch, he's very careful about what he eats and drinks and what he does, because that's a muscle. You know, I can play guitar forever, but this is a part of your body. And same with David. David's just God given. He's got a different range than those guys, but it's the coolest syrup. You know, it's like a syrupy barbecue sauce that just you want to get more of it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the trick is with these guys, but I'm just very blessed to be able to say I've spent time in the studio and on stage with Glenn Hughes. It's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine being you looking over going, that's fucking David Coverdale, holy Christ. And then, you know, same thing with Glenn. You just, fucking Glenn.
No, I mean,
do you get that feeling, that sort of kid in a candy store feeling sometimes?
I mean, in the beginning of working with Ronnie, I did. And then, yes, getting on stage with David and seeing him do his thing, I was just like, holy shit. And being on stage the first time with Glenn we went to South America.
Yeah.
And we, you know, everybody talks about Glenn's voice, but Glenn is an amazing, as you know, and people will remember, his bass playing is just as equally incredible.
Yeah,
so
man.
Glenn's tied up on the microphone. When he comes off the microphone and comes over to me, we start going off, man. He starts wailing up high on the fretboard, and I'm going, okay, cool. I'm going to get out of the way for a minute, and then him do his thing, go down and play a lower melody, and then we trade. It's just incredible. That was like, holy shit. Really amazing stuff. Sorry about my language.
Talking about that, Glenn, is it difficult? Because I'm pretty much I'm like the best mediocre musician around. I can play everything pretty decently. But when it comes to like actually playing and singing at the same time, how long did it take for you to actually get to the point where you were comfortable in doing that? Did it come right away, like when you were young and like you were able to sing and play at the same time? Or like even today, do you keep your parts, you know, less is more so you can sing? Or
number one, I don't think about it. And number two, when I'm writing a song now, I'm thinking to myself, well, we're going to probably have to play this song live. So make sure what you're playing and writing is appropriate to take to the stage. There's only been a couple of songs in 50 years where it's been difficult to do that. But now I'm really thinking, can this happen live? And that's the way
yeah.
Well, in fact, he's frozen up, but I'll ask Doug in the meantime. How important is that in putting together an album? Because you can do loops and drum fill, and you can
bring out the Pro Tools rig and, you know,
sonic landscapes. But ultimately, it's about getting on stage.
It's about having a song I mean, Glenn has said this a few times. We wanted to have songs since when Glenn joined the band. We've wanted to have songs that work better live, that are live songs. Right. They're meant to be played live. Yeah. So that's what we try to do, is just have something that could we envision ourselves playing this on stage, right. And then we'd get done with something, and Glenn would go, man, this is going to kick ass live. It's going to be it's just going to be like 1972 all over again. Yeah. And it is. And so we're, you know, but yeah, I think that you can get a little crazy in the studio, and then you have to maintain that live, and it's hard sometimes, but we don't have that problem.
Yeah. The Dead
Thank God.
Daisies Radiance, you can pre-order it now wherever you get your music, coming out on September 30th. Of course, tour dates across the U.S. Make sure you go and check them out live. The live show's brilliant. Whenever I think of Glenn Hughes, I always think of rock fashion, because you always have some of the coolest
Absolutely.
clothes on. All the years of your friendship with John Varvatos. I love John Varvatos as well. Like, talk a little bit about the fashion
Are you
aspect of
saying
it.
my
and
Schoolhouse Rock shirt's not
it doesn't
cool?
compare, Mitch. I'm sorry. Talk a little about how important the look is, you know?
Well, I got it from my father, who was a fashionista. But John's one of my. I've known John since he was a teenager, so I've grown up with him being a fashion icon. So yes,
Yeah.
he's been dressing me for 15 years, and I always watch what I wear. I try to stay fit, and yeah, I always like to look and feel good. It's part of the thing for me.
Yeah, I always think about that, because it's like you look at some of the musicians today, like through the 90s, like everybody was just rolling up on stage like as if they were the roadie, and everybody forgot about how important it was to look good. And now I love the fact that you see you on stage, you see Doug, the band, you guys have the look, like you look like rock stars, you got the vibe.
Well, Glenn's he's next level. I mean, it started back when we were talking about Cal Jam, and that white suit and the was it a Rickenbacker bass, Glenn?
No, it's a P bass.
P bass and the shoes, and it was like, this guy he's fucking looks cool, man, and he still does. We saw each other yesterday. We went to do a radio thing, and out of the elevator comes Glenn, and it's like, damn, the guy looks amazing,
Yeah.
So that California Jam suit. I knew Richie was going to wear black, so I got that white suit out, that satin suit, and it was exactly what the doctor ordered for me to be wearing white. Blackmore's wearing black, so yeah, I'm a bit of a crazy guy on clothes.
But it's funny how something like that is unplanned and it becomes iconic,
Yeah, apparently.
True. So when I started working with Glenn in 2015, we were in Europe, and every day we'd get up, have breakfast, and then we would go for a walk, and it would turn into a shopping session.
Every day.
We'd go into these stores, and Glenn would go, "Oh, Doug, that's good. This is like happening pair of shoes right here." And I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know if I could pull those off, man."
Yes, you did.
I'm just thinking, that poor credit card.
every single day.
A little bit of that, but there's this. Glenn knows where the fashion's going too, like in a masculine way, And so he'd be like, "This is happening. It's going to be happening next year." And I just didn't. I was, sometimes I'm not ready to go pull that trigger.
But it's funny because it's when I went to New York with Jeremy, we went to, what was it, Christian Brenner or something like?
Yeah, Christian Benner's jacket
shop. Right.
And then so we go over to CBGB's, and it's like, this is where the Ramones or whatever.
Yeah, and it was the John Varvatos store.
That's correct. Yeah,
it's $95 for a Poison shirt. I got to get that.
Yeah, right.
Remember that, Mitch? Remember that jacket I bought? It was the same jacket that Joe Elliott wore in like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame photo shoot or something. It was like $3,000. I was like, but I need that. I need it.
Yeah, and he's like, just wrap it up and send it to me in Canada. And I was like,
did you get it?
Right, I got it.
Yeah, and he had
for you, man.
He had it air mailed up to Canada.
Yeah, honestly, that's
and I'm
all
sitting
I
there
wear.
going, I'm not paying $95 for a Poison shirt.
John Varvatos, that stuff,
You
man.
know what David
that's my
Coverdale
shit.
would say?
Yeah.
David Coverdale would say, Mitch, of course you can afford it. You're a snake, man. Go ahead. He told me that. He told me that. I was like shopping with David, and I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $300 on whatever. He was like, Douglas, you're a snake now. You can afford it. And I was like, all right, I'm doing it.
Oh, that's my favorite thing ever. But
so good for you.
So yeah, I'm always wearing the John Varvatos, always repping that stuff. I gotta check out his new line though. He's got a new one too.
OTD. It's OTD on this day. It's a new one. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Mitch, we got to try and get John on the show. I'd love to talk to him.
I can fix that.
Yeah,
I'll do that for you. Sure.
That would actually be interesting because it's a different part of the industry. I mean, there's talking to rock stars, but there's also all the other stuff.
I'm having dinner with him dinner with him next week, so I'll bring this one up.
Oh, tell him Jeremy White from Canada loves you. You got to do an interview.
Done.
Don't you have the special card, Jeremy? Don't you have that special?
No. Remember that time? Who it was
Robbie
Robbie.
Hoffman.
Robbie brought us shopping, and he's like, "I got the VIP card for you." I was like, "Yes." But yeah. So, anyways, look, we're not going to take much more of your time. The Dead Daisies, Radiance. Pick it up wherever you get your music. Pre-order it now and go check them out on tour. Geez, Doug, it's always great to chat with you. Glenn, it's nice to actually talk to you for the first time. We see each other on Twitter, but like that's
great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we love
it.
Guys, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
And look forward to visiting Canada at some point.
Me too.
Yeah, it's 2018, I think, was the last time you were here. The Daisies.
Yeah, we need to get up there.
Yeah.
The Mitch LaFon and Jeremy White Show.
The Mitch LaFon and Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.
Between the color of this moment, I fail to stop the hands of time. I lay to rest, where am I going? I've come this far to change my mind. You know there is no answer for it. I know that I have made mistakes. Beneath the symbol of my conscience, doesn't want to be my friend. On the wrong side of town, it's a curse whenever I go, and I have to forget, but the thoughts in my head let me down. I want you to know. Now I don't know you, but you are my jailer. I've been sentenced by the jury below. Now it scares me to death, I just cannot let this cage that they put over me. I hear the voices on the ground. I go to sleep without a sound. Can you turn out the daylight? I've been gone in the morning, and you try to burn down the sun. I gotta make you believe that I did not deceive you. I did not hurt anyone. You can make me a slave, you can make me a number, but I'm not the one you like. 'Cause if you wait the key, and I just can't be in the state that they put over me. I hear the voices on the ground. I go to sleep without a sound. I'm in a state of madness. look like a river. There's only my life in. Oh, it is made. Look like a river. Promises, too many reasons I recall. Too many people I sit around and on a wall. Oh yeah, I must have got you wrong. What kind of world do you live in? Waited far too long. I know where you've been. Don't you tell me you don't know. Don't you tell me you don't know. Am I a sacrifice? Am I a fool too blind to see? I'm not a vagabond. I know what is meant to be. There is a better way. There comes a time I do believe. There is a price to pay, and I know where you've been. Don't you tell me you don't tell me you don't know. Don't you tell me you don't know. Don't you tell me you don't know. Standing a waterfall. try and save my life. I saw you in the paper, I got you in my head, and now I'm getting better. You know it can't be bad. They're gonna make a movie about the life I live, and I will see you later, 'cause I've been feeling sad. I'll be fine. You in my head, and now I'm getting better. You know it can't be bad. They're gonna make a movie about the life I led, and I will see you later, 'cause I've been feeling sad. I'll be fine. I saw you in the paper, I got you in my head, and now I'm getting better. You know it can't be bad. They're gonna make a movie about the life I live, and I will see you later, 'cause I've been feeling sad. I saw you in the paper, I got you in my head, and now I'm getting better. You know it can't be bad. They're gonna make a movie about the life I live, and I will see you later, 'cause I've been feeling sad. I saw you in the paper. from another world, from another world. thought you would be leaving. I only wanted to try and make you see. Is there a chance to tell me why? Where do you begin to try? The battle is over. You're stuck on a gun. It's us. Darkness of my cold room. This time I live alone forever. I only wanted to make you understand. Too late, the gold's turned to rust. You wait, your love lies in the dust. My spirit. Now this is the end. It's us. trying to remember how many cigarettes did I bring along. When I get down, I'll jump in a taxi cab, riding through London town to cry you a song. Been a long time, so shaking my wings. Well, I'm a glad man, I got changes to ring. till dawn. Cry for the light, for the love that won't come. You said that you never leave me alone. I gave you my heart, you cried for my soul. An angel won't come, this devil won't go. Something is wrong, I just can't get away. Living on the street. cry for the light, for the love that won't come. You said that you never leave me alone. I gave you my heart, you cried for my soul. An angel won't come, this devil won't go. So Midnight, something don't lost in